You know, I think what's really great is that we're branching out into all these different stories, and Leslie Headland is ushering in this new era of Star Wars, and now we're seeing people lining up on the streets and seeing this soon on Disney Plus, and we couldn't be more excited.
Just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, it looks like things are spiraling out of control once again over at Lucasfilm. And guess who's at the center of it all? Yup, you guessed it. Kathleen Kennedy, the queen of Star Wars disasters. The woman's track record with fans is about as smooth as a speeder bike chase through a Sarlacc pit. And if you thought her list of bad decisions couldn't possibly get any longer, think again. This time, we're talking about The Acolyte. Another series she greenlit that's, let's just say, not exactly lighting the galaxy on fire. But hey, who's keeping score at this point? Now everyone knows about the weird decisions being made over there at Lucasfilm, but I honestly didn't think it would get this bad. Apparently Disney, in their never-ending quest to dive headfirst into controversy, decided to introduce, wait for it, a trans clone trooper.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Jesus, what the hell is going on? Everywhere I turn, there's always some sort of trans garbage being thrown at me, and I'm tired of it. We're talking about a clone trooper from a batch of genetically identical soldiers who, up until now, were solely bred for war. Now we're supposed to believe one of them is out here having a deep existential crisis about their gender identity. Someone please make it make sense. Before we get into the mess that followed, let me say this. I really don't care what you identify as, and I really don't care if you decide to castrate yourself because you think you're a different gender. Just don't go around trying to manipulate little children into thinking that this is normal because it's not. You actually need help. Anyways, diversity in stories, especially one as big as Star Wars, can be a good thing. But there's a right way to do it. And then there's Disney's way, which is basically like putting a sticky note that says, I'm diverse on a character and calling it a day. And out of all the characters they could have chosen to represent a trans person in the galaxy far, far away, they pick a clone trooper? Really, Disney? The same troopers that are literally clones of each other, created with no variation. Talk about taking a hyperspace jump into the absurd. So naturally, the Star Wars fandom reacted exactly how you'd expect, like a Death Star explosion. Fans were not having it, and honestly, for valid reasons. Here's the thing. No one's out here saying they don't want diversity in Star Wars. Heck, the fandom's been saying the exact opposite for years. The issue isn't the inclusion itself, it's the way it's been shoehorned into the story, with no thought or care given to character depth or world building. It's like trying to fit a Wookiee in an Ewok costume. It just doesn't work. But of course, in true Kathleen Kennedy fashion, she couldn't handle the heat from the fans. Oh no, she had to go on the offensive, like a stormtrooper who can't aim but still insists on firing shots. She called out the fan base, again, claiming that anyone who didn't support this move was stuck in the past, bigoted, and resistant to change. It's the same tired speech we've heard 1,000 times from her. Anytime the fans don't eat up whatever she serves, they're the bad guys. You can almost set your galactic calendar by it at this point. Oh, and let's not forget the cherry on top. Kennedy actually had the audacity to say that anyone against this decision is the real problem in the Star Wars community. Yeah, okay, Kathleen, because the people who've supported this franchise for decades and made it the cultural phenomenon it is are the issue, not your baffling decisions like turning Luke Skywalker into a grumpy hermit, sidelining him in favor of Rey, or now introducing a trans clone trooper out of nowhere. Sure, totally makes sense. I mean, seriously, Kennedy has never understood what made Star Wars such a beloved saga in the first place. It was never about ticking off diversity checkboxes or jumping on the latest social trend. It was always about creating meaningful characters, compelling stories, and a universe so rich in lore that fans could lose themselves in it. But nope, she seems determined to steer the ship straight into a black hole of bad decisions, and this trans clone trooper thing, it feels like the latest in a long string of cheap PR stunts aimed at appeasing a loud minority without any actual substance behind it. And here's where it gets even more ridiculous, if you can believe it. Kennedy reportedly doubled down on the whole thing, saying that the introduction of the trans clone trooper was essential for the modernization of Star Wars. Ah, yes, because the franchise that's been a global juggernaut for over 40 years clearly needed to be modernized by force-feeding the audience some political agenda that feels as out of place as a bantha at a Tatooine rave. What the franchise actually needs is to go back to its roots, strong storytelling, characters we care about, and stakes that feel real. But hey, why do that when you can just alienate your entire fan base with more identity politics, right? At this point, it feels like Kathleen Kennedy is actively trying to kill Star Wars. Like she's playing some bizarre game of how many bad decisions can I make before they finally fire me. And spoiler alert, she's winning. Every new character they introduce that feels like a cardboard cutout, every story arc that has zero impact on the overall lore, it's all part of this downward spiral. And now, with this trans clone trooper, she's managed to divide the fan base even more than ever before. And let's be real here. It's not like Kennedy has all the time in the world to clean up this mess. Her contract with Lucasfilm is reportedly up soon, and it's starting to feel like she's trying to burn the whole house down before she walks out the door. I can almost picture her walking away from the smoldering wreckage of the Star Wars franchise, sunglasses on, not a care in the world. And who's left to pick up the pieces? The fans, of course. But here's the silver lining, if there is one. Maybe, just maybe, once Kennedy is out the door, we can get back to what Star Wars is really about. Epic space battles, characters with real depth, and stories that make us believe in the Force again. Until then, I guess we'll just have to endure this circus a little longer. If you guys liked today's video, leave a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.